4636. That's the Queen of Soul this Saturday at 7:30 p.m. at Hamilton College.
It's time for the Cooper Group's road trip. We're traveling in the all-new Chevy Malibu, courtesy of Seaweaver Chevrolet. The Malibu was named 2008 North American Car of the Year and one of Car and Driver's 10 best cars of 2008. Today we continue our tour of Cooperstown. America's most perfect village is perfect for a Sunday afternoon stroll. Wander along the side streets of downtown and see beautiful homes along the tranquil Otsego Lake. Or visit the famous Main Street with shops and cafes galore. Early spring is the perfect time to visit. You'll meet the locals and get a feel for the peaceful community that exists outside the busy summer tourist season.
Walking around Cooperstown is so enjoyable. There are places that have been here for many, many years. As a matter of fact, here on Main Street, there's Schneider's Bakery. It has been around for 120 years. When you come here, be sure to try one of their donuts, get a dozen, get a couple of dozen, because the recipe is the old-fashioned recipe, and it has been around for some 120 years as well.
Well, it was late one night, and I was watching Tom Snyder. I spotted the year's first spring spider. Let it go like I always do, but it returned the next night with a friend or two. And then 4, 6, man. Spiders here, spiders there. Man, them spiders were everywhere. Went out and got a new dehumidifier. Nothing get rid of them stupid spiders.
Another example of the philanthropy of the Clark family here in Cooperstown can be found in this building. This was built by them as a YMCA and as a museum and as a library. Today it continues to serve as a library. It is also the home of the Cooperstown Art Association, and I'm standing in the gallery, which used to be the squash court in the YMCA. It's usually open on a Sunday, but today it won't be because they're setting up for a new exhibition by Eric Halverson. You may remember him from our trip to Oneonta and to Hartwick. He was the glass artist who did these fantastic pieces with glass, one of which I bought for myself. The opening reception is this Friday from 5 until 7. Get yourself down here. It promises to be extremely, extremely colorful and exciting.
What better place to meet the author of a local cookbook and guidebook of Cooperstown than at Danny's Main Street Market? Danny's is a morning ritual for many locals. Their delicious scones enriched with sour cream are the perfect complement to their aromatic coffee. Home Plate, the culinary road trip of Cooperstown, is the ultimate handbook that gives you touring tips paired with local recipes utilizing New York State ingredients.
Danny's, we love Danny's. Danny's, everybody comes for coffee, and Surge's breads are out of this world. And as you can tell from the bakery case, it's just, you know, it's a deli, but it's a small business that has lots of heart, lots of passion. They take so much pride in what they do, and that's what we say in our book too. Those are the kind of people we profile. There are people who see it as a cookbook and people see it as a travel guide, and it's a blending of both, because what it does is celebrates New York State's two major industries, which is tourism and agriculture. And we like to blend the two that celebrates New Yorkers and what they're doing in their businesses, their small businesses, their farm products, their restaurants. It's kind of a celebration of ordinary New Yorkers doing extraordinary things. And I think that's so important that we know where our food source is, and not only where it's coming from, but who's producing it. And New York is a phenomenal state in that regard. For a state that has still winter, lots of rocky soil, they are an incredibly prolific producer of foods, of all types. You know, we're in the top 10 of production of foods, apples, grapes, on and on and on.
Now, what kind of recipes are we going to find in this cookbook?
You're going to find lots of apple, lots of maple syrup, but also there's clam chowder because of the clams out in Long Island, lots of cheese because of those wonderful things, wine-based recipes. There's very little that New York does not produce. So there's baked goods and soups and entrees and desserts. but everything in there, the main ingredient is going to be produced in New York. It's a profile a little more in depth. You know, too many travel writers will go into an area, zing in, zing out in 3 days, and write about like they know the area. Now, we want to give everybody 3 dimensions. Who they are, what they're producing, a little more history. I try to throw in lots of good quotes so people remember it. And I used to be a history and English teacher, so I try to teach along the way.
Brenda has kindly offered to give 2 gifts to 2 of our viewers. One is her book, and it's interesting in a sense because it contains many of the recipes from places that we have visited, one of which, of course, was the Beech Nut Factory in Canajoharie. That's also going to be part of the gift. It's framed with local wood by a local artist. And secondly, we're also going to be giving, or she will be giving, a basket filled with Savor products. And trust me, you're going to want to savor everything in here. This too will include her book.
To be entered in next week's drawing, send us an email or write to Mohawk Valley Living, 30 Kellogg Street in Clinton. You can pick up your own copy of Home Plate, the culinary road trip of Cooperstown, at your local bookstore or online at savorny.org.